Well, chat, can I please get your predictions for the third place team? Meanwhile, I'll try and address some stuff in chat. You already addressed the question about nuts and pre-nuts. Thank you, Spider. And Polchrome's already answered the other question. Thank you very much, gentlemen, for doing that. We've got a couple 1-ups so far.
2 up, 3 up, 4 up.
I'll give you guys 15 seconds.
One up 7.
Like I could see it. I could definitely see it.
Well, we won't put that one out the window. But yeah. Seven up. True, 7-Up. Does anyone like 7-Up? I feel like people either hate 7-Up or they love 7-Up.
I haven't had it in like the last 15 years, so I can't really speak to it.
Really? Where do you get it?
Yeah.
I only get it. I've only ever seen it at like KFC or something.
Yeah, I think KFC is like the only place that has it in tubs. So.
Hilla who rates 7-Up.
Isn't it just lemonade?
I mean, yeah, pretty much. But I think it's got a bit of it's got a bit of caffeine going on.
Oh yeah.
Kmart version of Sprite. Sprite does slap. Anyway, pretty much everyone predicted 1-Up. Chat, you're doing a great job so far.
You're all wrong.
Yeah. So I had them predicted for 4th. Spider and Runt had them for 3rd, giving them 20 points. Predicted for 3rd place. We've got or Morrow, Guinea, Gunner, Lilance, Snake, and Vector. So what notes do I have for these guys? So
Coin
pretty much
flip.
the same roster from Bendigo Nuts, only that Dan isn't playing this pre-nuts and Vector is on the team. My understanding is that Vector is only playing this pre-nuts, so he's not on 1-Up. And
yeah, he will be.
I also know that Snake won't be playing Nationals, so this is going to be the only Snake that people are going to be able to get at pre-nuts too.
Oh no. Vector will be at Nats though, with a different team, won't he?
I'm not
Maybe?
sure. I just know like he
We
couldn't get
pray.
a team for pre-nuts, so fingers
Yeah.
crossed we can see like a Bendigo team. That'd be cool. But what else did I have? Well, yeah, we kind of, someone said 1-Up and Jake, Snake said 1-Up in 7th, and we kind of laughed a bit. It's always a dice roll with this team, literally sometimes. We've seen them be an absolute like juggernaut in games, like getting like ridiculous scores, just wiping the floor with everyone. But we've also seen them really struggle sometimes. Like the most immediate ones I can think of was like Sunny Coast until that last day where they went on a massive win streak. They were like really struggling in Sunny Coast. Darwin Nuts, they really struggled. So I guess, yeah, I'll all of these, something you can always say about 1-Up is they're all like very talented, very strong pack-on-pack players, very brawly. Which my initial impression is that could be a good thing for them in this arena. But Runt has been going on at length about the importance of the last line position, and when I think of 1-Up, there's no player that immediately pops into my brain. I'm like, oh yeah, they're gonna play last line. If I did, it might be Snake, but he's only, maybe Snake could confirm that in the chat for us. Are you going to be playing last line for this competition, mate? Anyway, I don't know where I was going with that. Brain thought train has been derailed.
Yeah, I mean,
I'm going to stop talking.
Yeah, you really want someone with a history of it, I think. And 1-Up don't really have that person. They like to be in the open a lot too, but if they use their panels, they're so bloody scary. And yeah, they're just gonna overwhelm people with just aggression. I think they hate the slow game, and they just like to send like 3-person attacks and just get the game moving. So if they can blow the game out first, they're gonna be in a great spot. If they try to attack some heavy defenses and get punished, or if their base defense just isn't strong enough, they're they're going to be right down the bottom. So it could really go either way here. I am keen for a team to really push that offensive meta though, because like we've been trying 3-man attacks and stuff, and I don't know if we're the team to do it, but I think this team is that just really aggressive play. I want to say.
Yeah, Pre-Nats 1, we saw a lot of yeah, not many like super heavy attacks, I guess. Like we saw like some blitzes, like some sudden 3-man attacks, but like not like constant aggression, which is what you'd kind of expect to see from these guys. So I'm keen to see how it pays off.
I want to say 3 people running in a line through a door, like what we saw at Sunny Coast from these guys.
Yeah,
That was amazing.
Only 3?
Yeah,
3.
you're right.
Wow, could be more.
People
huh?
just said that.
Spider, what have you got to say about the 1-Up boys, or 7-Up as they've been called in chat?
Yeah, look, I think these guys will just like place well if they just leave the base every game. It's something that they're known for doing, and like we know how well attacks like this work. If you are like hitting with numbers, I think like no matter what the defense is, if you hit it with enough people, you're just going to get through every time. And these guys are coordinated enough. They've done it enough in other mazes to just like turn up at a base with 5, hold the 5 main positions, cycle a base, and leave again. So I think like this will be the one team where maybe finals day, but maybe throughout the rest of the comp, they'll just like open the game up, and then it'll basically depend on how people react to it. I think if they play the game right, they could control like every game with ease.
Yeah, I am really scared of from these guys.
Yeah, I think when we look at the team and be like, oh, we don't really see a last line, I don't think they're going to need a last line. Like they're just going to have everyone outside, and they're just going to be like playing through the doors and stuff like that. Kind of like play your own side. If someone comes in the other door, you like jump onto the baseline and like pin them and stuff. I think they did it a bit in Darwin. In Darwin, you could lock the bases very easily, and they were like, nah, stuff that, and just played like 5 out the doors. So I don't know. I think we could see something a bit crazy from 1-Up, and I hope we do, because we need practice with stuff like that before nationals.
I'm curious to see how they all adjust to the barrel sensors and stuff, and I think that'll be a big determining factor for this team.
Well, this is one of the few teams that has played H2. Pretty much all of them, not for a while since it closed down, but they played Box Hill a bit while it was still a thing. Yeah, because Box Hill had H2 for like 2 years, I think, and they were playing on it.
Madness.
Especially, yeah.
So could they? Well, I don't know how much they played on it, but they could potentially be theoretically the most experienced Helios 2 players, right?
Yeah, potentially. I mean, they've already got that.
Said they weren't.
they've already got the mindset, right? Like, okay, maybe not all of them played on it, but I know Mario definitely showed up a lot.
Gunnar said, "Nope, never." Fantastic. I'd expect nothing less.
Spider, they were at that comp you were at, weren't they?
Which comp?
The Box Hill one.
Oh, look, maybe.
Yeah.
See, that was like super like first iteration of H2. Like that's nothing compared to what we play now.
Interesting.
That was a comp. Anyway,
Literally.
whilst we wrap up the 1-Up boys, or 7-Up, can everyone in the chat please give their predictions for their second place team? You've been doing so well so far. Let's see if you can be. Let's see if you can keep it going. Yeah. Any parting thoughts for the 1-Up lads?
I think if there's gonna be, I think these guys will be the first ones to take us down, just with a dump onto the other team, and we'll just get railed, or just a dump onto our base, and it's gonna punish us because we're not prepared for it at all.
Yeah, I think this will be the team where like we or whoever is the third team gets like free wins, because like 1-Up will dump to Vikings and like punish Vikings, and then there'll just be this war. And if the third team can just like play around the maze behind them, it'll be a good game for that team. But yeah, I think I'm concerned for versing this team, but I also really want to, because I think they'll give us the most experience before nationals, and I think exactly what you said, Brendan. I think this will be like a team that can compete with you, not consistently. I think if it's down to consistency, you guys come out on top all the time. But I think the thing with 1UP is they have power in every maze, and even if you've watched them play the maze before, they'll play the next comp differently because that's just what they do.
Alrighty, so we have 2 Vikings predictions for second place. That's spicy. One Rampage.
I don't know how much you value the word of villain, but anyway.
One Arcage. I'll take him for his upset. Archangels for the upset. Cerberus for the upset. But then most people have predicted. Moss has chucked Vikings in for second.
Wow.
Spicy.
Spicy ones. But we've got 3 for Magma in second place. And, that lines up with what we've got. We all unanimously predicted Team Magma for second place, getting them 24 points. On the team, we have Cyrex, Madcans, Shock, Bread, Peregrine, and Link. So this team is the same as their Prenets 1 team, Sunshine Coast Isotopes, except now they've got Bread instead of Mopa. The team has a 50-50 split of players from like Spartans and Sunshine Showstorm. and 6 players Bendigo Nationals. And yeah, I mean, like we were saying about the teams that can get the most synergy over the course of these pre-nuts will do really well. Them pretty much having the same roster as pre-nuts 1, finishing second place there. This team's, it's going to be hard to see this team getting anything below second place, I think. Runt, why don't you take this one away?
I think especially with the pre-nuts 1 under their belts where they did well, they're not going to drop below second. I'm curious what sort of training they've been doing back home. We saw some of the Queensland boys in the chat chucking them in first place. I'm very keen to know what they've learned out of Prenuts 1 and what they're going to bring to this one to really mix it up. I have no doubt they will have gone back and analysed games a lot, especially because they seem to be forcing strategies in Hobart that worked in other mazes, but not so much in Hobart. So I think if they adapt to the maze, they'll do very well. I was surprised that they didn't really, as much as we were expecting for Prenuts 1, we were expecting them to be beating us essentially, but maybe they'll do it at Prenuts 2, but I'm just not sure if they've had enough time to really shift it. But maybe Bread will just carry the team and be the factor they need. But yeah, like Link is also insane. I can't sing it enough, but on H2 he picked it up better than anyone I've seen. Just scary with it. So yeah, they'll definitely be very strong again. Whether or not it's enough to contend with a home team, I'm not sure it is yet, but I'm keen to see it.
Something we saw a bit at Prenuts 1 was lots of like very sniping heavy strategies, and then like lots of like sudden like 3-man attacks and stuff. From my perspective, there'd be games where like you just see Madcans and he might kill like 1, maybe 2 people, and then suddenly there's like 3 there, and I was like,
yeah. It's a cool strategy. If they get that working, it'll be amazing.
Shutin has said, no spoilers, but Cancer's learned a lot. He strategized way too much.
I'm not surprised.
You know,
So jealous.
Maybe they're just gonna go balls to the wall and just like run around, shoot everyone, don't get shot, get bases, and win. Spider, what have you got to say about Magma?
I think the one thing is like I nerd out on laser tag a lot, and I always like think of like how much I do compared to other people, and Madcans is the one person that I think I'll never be able to do more than in laser tag. I was like in the lobby at Prenuts 1, and it was like training, and he was sitting on a couch for like 2 hours with a pen and paper just writing notes. And some of the stuff he was writing, I will not share, but was like so detailed and pinpoint. I was like, you are a nerd. But it's like then all of a sudden I go and verse him in like the end of the comp, and exactly the notes I saw him write down, he executed in front of me,
That's
and
sick.
I had no reaction for it. So I was like, it's something I want to do more, but I think if he's done that back at home after watching all of their games back and like being able to watch Vikings play and stuff like that, I think they're going to have some sort of counter. Like you said, I don't know if it'll be quite enough yet, but I think come nationals, that kind of lineup is going to be like, yeah, I think it's going to be something to worry about. I really liked the way that the team came together at pre-1. I think it's a bit of a mix, but it's like two teams that can mix and they still feel like the same team, kind of. And having Link there, I think we highlighted him at pre-1, but he was like disgusting. He just picked up Helios 2 and was perfect straight away, which was really, really annoying. But yeah, Bread also like being the new one to come in straight into Hobart. I think he plays like defense really, really well. One of like the higher defenders. So I'd be really keen to see how he goes in this kind of maze and what his discipline looks like.
Which I think Bread will fit the role better than Mopar did, because Mopar was generally on defense in pre-1 for the team, and that's not where Mopar plays. So Bread playing his position will probably be strong there.
Yeah, Link doesn't even train, and he's still better than anyone. It's stupid.
You versed him a fair bit, right?
I don't know.
Huh?
You versed him a fair bit at pre-announce 1, didn't you, Ryan?
I don't actually remember seeing Link like ever. If I'm honest. I remember seeing him maybe twice, and he was really far away, and we would just like take a pot shot at each other's barrel sensors. I don't really remember seeing him otherwise, so I don't have anything in particular for Link. But yeah, the one big takeaway I had from pre-announce 1 about the team was just like very sniping heavy, and like Madken's always at a base, and then once he was getting a tag or two, like there was 1 or 2 more people like bringing up the rear, and they were getting bases and stuff.
Yeah,
so
I think they did rely on.
To see if they do the same thing or not.
Yeah, they relied on their long shots a lot at pre-announce 1, and they were still kind of out of the pack. A lot of long shots have been removed for pre-announce 2, so it might be interesting seeing if that sort of forces them more into the play and more into the pack points, because I think they're just sitting back a bit too far at pre-announce 1. Not that I want to help them and have them beat us, but I think that's what I saw a lot, was they were just out of the pack because they were like, oh my god, this sniping spot's amazing, I don't die and I get kills. It was like, well, that's great, but like you need more than just a few kills ticking over. You want a lot.
I think what we saw a lot was like Madcan's like doing his lap between, kind of like on the flip side of the elevator, like between the two bases, and then he would like run in, find an opportunity, and then you just see 2 of his teammates like leave defense and like swoop in either door.
Yeah.
And from just like reffing finals and just like watching all the different strategies they were playing, I was just like, the coordination, like they're not even saying words, they just see it happen and they know what to do. And so yeah, I think if they can like keep that kind of thing up and make it work, then yeah, what you said before, Brendan, like that's something that's pretty unique in this maze. And I think like if they can do it, then it's going to boost them pretty bloody far.
Right, like they were doing that level of coordination at pre-announce 1 with no experience and on new packs. So I am very scared of this team, don't get me wrong. Like the coordination is and strategies they have are scary. So yeah, and I think if they've already got the strategies for pre-announce 2, it's gonna be terrifying.
Yes, I was just addressing someone in chat, but you have to eat heap of KFC. That's fair. Chat, we've got 1 team left. I won't ask for your predictions. We'll just reveal it. It'd be a bit silly. Hobart Vikings, first place.
No pressure.
So we all predicted them for first. We have same lineup: Runt, CV, Leper, Twinkles, Gandhi, and Caron. Remained undefeated for those that weren't tuning in over the course of Prenats 1, including finals. Runt had a pretty godlike performance at Prenats 1, leading in every stat except for tag ratio, which he was second, and denies against, which, I mean, you're attacking all the time. You can't expect to have like a 0 denies against. That's a bit, you know.
Yeah, trash.
That'd be the perfect player. So, you know, will we see a Runt just wiping the floor with everyone again, or are people gonna, you know, if some players gonna challenge you for those points?
I think
We'll
there's
find out.
definitely more points players at this comp. You've got like Hybrid, Dark Passion, a bunch of one-up guys, Gunner. Like, I think it's not going to be as unbalanced as it was at 1.
I know you kind of left Runt, and I'll let you lead the dance on this one. But you said not dropping any games at Prenats 1 was kind of a bittersweet result for you guys. Because obviously winning is fun and stuff, but there's only it's harder to learn from your wins than it is to win from your losses. You know, when you lose, there is like definite mistakes that were made, whereas like, and you can identify them pretty easily. Whereas when you win, there's always going to be mistakes that are there, but it's like, you know, it can kind of get masked, I guess, by winning. So it can be a little harder to find it. So I'll let you lead the talk for a bit. But
Yeah.
what's going on?
It's interesting. Like, Spider's like, oh, no pressure to come first. I don't think there is. I'd rather come second and lose games and learn from them, to be honest. Like, I don't know. I don't care about the result of a home Nats pre-Nats, to be honest. I want to learn and tighten it up for Nats. And I think that's really what we've seen in our training over the past few weeks, is kind of just being lost, of just going, well, it all works. Like, what do we do if it all already works? Like, we can keep it working, but there's not really that drive to go, okay, well, our strategy just didn't work. We need new ones. We need this and this and this. We just go, well, our strategies are good. Like, what do we change, right? It's like, well, we can try to like get Gandhi and Karen and Leper more attacking experience, which is just what we've focused on the past 4 weeks. It's just been that, because that's the only real thing that we identified as our main issue. So yeah, like, I don't know, we're just kind of lost at the moment. Like, we'll go into Pre-Nuts 2 and shoot stuff, but I'm keen to lose games at Pre-Nuts 2 and really work out what our issues are and really find those cracks that we didn't have exploited.
Yeah, you'd almost prefer to like come second or like just lose a bunch of games at this Pre-Nuts than just go undefeated again, right?
Oh, 100%. We go undefeated again.
The pressure will just keep building up. You know?
It'll, because it's gonna, like, if that happens, it's gonna be like, oh, first, and then like 5th at Nats. Like, it's just gonna be something like that. Like, it's just building it up too much. It's like Pre-Nats 1 winners never win anyway, so it's like, we need to lose games to learn more, please. And yeah, like, I want to find those strategy cancel finding, but it's kind of like that Wolfpack thing. It's like, well, if it's working, let's just play our 2-3s. Like, if we're better than people pack on pack, we'll just win with a 2-3. Like, what else, you know? Yeah, what? I think I finally understand why they just went, yeah, we'll just 2-3 and win every Nats. Like, we're definitely not going to achieve the same result, but in terms of going into this Pre-Nats, looking at like what to do, it's just more of the same, I expect.
Yeah. I think one of the notes I had was that Twinkles was one of the best players at tagging the barrel sensors at Pre-Nats 1, from my experience. Has he gotten even better at it? What do you reckon?
Yeah, it still makes me sad. I'm still trying to work out if that holding above increases your phaser shots. Because he's one of the players that holds upside phaser right side up, and he nails my gun, but then so do Jelly and Jared, who don't. So I don't know. Maybe they're just better. Yeah.
I specifically remember one moment in the finals. It was pain and suffering. So like, you and Twinkles were at our base for like a decent bit. We were doing eight. You know, I wasn't showing my phaser and stuff. No one was getting the base. I was like, cool. And then I saw Twinkles was taking a duel, like visible to me. And I was in the last line position. He was taking a duel against Mikey, and I was like, oh, he's not even looking at me. I'll just like shoot him in the back. But my reaction time was just like a bit off. And so by the time I've like gone to shoot him after like while he's taking his duel with Mikey, he's killed Mikey and then instantly shot my phaser. Like,
Right.
So, like within half a second, got the shot of Mikey and then shot my phaser, and I was like, bro, how the hell did he hit that? That is.
It's actually nuts. And like, he will just walk at players and just stand in the open and shoot their gun, or just like do a squat and then shoot their gun. And I'm curious how other people feel, because it's just demoralizing. Just have someone walk at you knowing that you're gonna peek and he's gonna punish you for it.
Yeah, I feel like there started being like an element of like chaos, like very chaos induced. Like, so the last line wants to hold their shot, right? And they want to hold their shot for when the other person shoots. So you got half a second where you can shoot like safely, right? But what if the person walking at you just doesn't shoot? And they're just walking at you. I know I did this to Spider a couple times. I don't know if you remember. It was always at Spider's on the V. I would be standing in the open, and I would be like, I would activate, and I just wouldn't shoot. And then I would like take a couple steps, wouldn't shoot, and then I just got so lucky with it. I got you twice with it, and it was just like the most, like the more time you wait after that activation sequence, the more like you hold your shot, just the more chaos induced the situation is. It's so funny.
Yeah. I do punish myself every time I get got by it, because the person behind the panel has every advantage to just flick half your barrel out and kill them. It's just I still get got by it, and it annoys me. And I can't imagine how other people feel who haven't had that experience, that he just walks at them and shoots their gun.
It's pretty funny.
Yeah.
It's because as the person getting the shot on the person like in the base behind a panel, you're like, you probably shouldn't have gotten that. But it's like, well,
Well, a lot of the time is in their heads. He knows when they're gonna shoot better than they do. So if anything, it's just outplayed. Honestly, like every time he gets me with it, I'm like, he's just better.
Yeah. Skill death. Well, yeah. Do you guys have any parting thoughts for Vikings? That's good. I don't really want to talk about these guys anymore.
Yeah, I think the whole conversation tonight has been around like having a last line, and I think you were even surprised, Brendan, with like how good Karen was under a base at pre-1, non-stop in games. So just like even in the foyer, you're on red, and I can just hear you hyping up Aaron, which is like really, really sick. And also on the flip side, it was like with Gandhi, when he got a base, I always knew that you guys were like doing really, really well. I want to see Peanuts. You did mention you were working on it, but I want to see like those two like solidify the attack a little bit more, because I think if you guys can do that, then like all round your team can play like most roles.
Yeah,
and I think that'll be like huge for you when it comes to like higher base games. Not that you were like struggling to get your team through high base games, but I think it makes you a lot more comfortable in that situation. I think with teams like One Up and all the like other kind of like pack pointy players in this comp, I think you might be forced to do that a bit more. And so the more confident you are, obviously the more solid your placing will be.
Yeah, exactly. Because Prenouts 1 was kind of like, okay, let's do what we think will work and see if it works. Prenouts 2 is like, okay, well that worked. Let's do all our other stuff and build the other stuff. So hopefully we get a chance. So really let them go through. But yeah, in terms of Karen, anytime someone was like, I can't have this base or something, I'm like, just watch him. He can do it.
Do the things. It's good.
Yeah. It's like he's pretty new and he can do it amazing. So you guys will figure it out. Yeah.